If you are in this country illegally, I don't care where you are from, you need to be arrested and deported immediately. This garbage of illegal aliens murdering and sexually assaulting American citizens is, I'm at my wit's end with this type of garbage. It needs to stop. Let's watch this video. And this video, these types of videos and incidents are the reasons I made this channel, because of this garbage. It's just another reason why I despise the Democratic Party. Let's jump in.
Yeah, Dana, good morning to you. This illegal alien had a lengthy rap sheet here in California long before he ever killed these two California teenagers. He's got several felony convictions on his record, several convictions for driving without a license, but he was still out and about on California's roads. And this young American couple ended up paying the price for that. And now their killer is getting an early release. It was November 2021, a fiery collision on an Orange County freeway. A young couple dead, and the driver who crashed into them, a twice-deported illegal alien from Mexico with multiple felonies, in custody for being drunk, high, and speeding at nearly 100 miles per hour.
I got a knock on the door, and there's two police officers.
The pain written all over the face of Pavel Osokin, as he recalls being told his son Nikolai and his 19-year-old girlfriend Anya Varfolomeev, friends since they were kids, were gone.
They told me there was a horrible incident. My son and his girlfriend, Anya, basically were burned alive in their car.
She was my daughter.
Anya's father, Anatoly, got a similar knock on the door that night.
He said Anya's name. I said, yes, it's my daughter. My wife came downstairs and she was screaming and crying. She said, no, 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 no.
In spring of 2022, a jury convicted Oscar Eduardo Ortega Anguiano on 2 counts of gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. A judge sentenced him to 10 years. But on Easter Sunday, the family say they received this notice from the California Department of Corrections that on July 19th, he'll be getting out.
2 years for killing 2 kids. It's confusing to me. Why you give them 10 if they're going to spend 5 and then 3?
Yeah, 2 young, productive American citizens killed for nothing. And that illegal immigrant who already has been deported twice is going to be released again?
In a statement, the Department of Corrections wouldn't confirm the release, but said in part, quote, incarcerated persons may earn credits for participating in rehabilitative programming, which may move their parole dates to an earlier date. Anya and Nikolai's families are now sending letters to the state, calling for Ortega Anguiano to serve his full sentence.
All those dreams were cut short just by one person who was not even supposed to be on that freeway. I will never forgive this guy. Never, ever.
I hope he's going to stay in prison. I hope he's going to get old in prison. And I hope he's going to get kicked out from our country in the end.
And Dana, ICE confirms to Fox News they have placed a detainer on this illegal alien with the California Department of Corrections. Their hope is that the state will transfer him to their custody upon his release from prison in July. As for the victims' families, they are now left wondering, what are 2 lives worth here in the state of California? They say, apparently, only a little more than 3 years. We'll send it back to you.
Bill Malusian, thank you.
So Tom Homan joins us from the North Lawn White House. And sir, thank you for your time today. There's a lot to get to, and I know for a lot of our viewers, we're covering a lot of different cases that involve very different people in different parts of the country in different states. Just react to Bill's reporting right there from California first. Let's begin there.
Well, look, you know, Bill, everybody asks why I get so emotional on network TV, why I get emotional when I testify, because I've met hundreds of angel moms and dads and hear every story. I'll never forget any of those stories. It's just a tragedy. But I'll make this commitment right now. I'll work with Secretary Noem on this case, and I guarantee you, if they don't honor a detainer, we have ICE agents outside that facility to take custody of this individual and deport him. He's been deported several times, which means he's a felon. Re-entry the country at the form of deportation is a felony. We will prosecute him and we will deport him. I'll make that commitment, and I'll work with Secretary Noem to make sure that happens.
I want to bring up one other thing before we get to the bigger picture, and that is, for example, when someone on the left go against you, they will say, oh, it's just like one or two people, right? Well, that's not the case, as you know. And here's another example. There was a young woman, a mother of two, killed in Maryland. Again, Maryland, mother of two. Her name was Guerra. And she is one of Senator Van Hollen's constituents as well. Her mother, who is lesbian Melith Ramirez Guerra, I'm sorry, that was the woman who was killed. The mother is devastated, just like those fathers were that you just saw. This is what Van Hollen said. I cannot imagine the grief and pain that the family of Miss Guerra is feeling right now. My heart goes out to them during this incredibly difficult time as they mourn her loss. I thank all of those in law enforcement who have been part of the extensive search effort and investigation. Now Miss Guerra's family and friends and our community will see her suspected killer and anyone involved in this crime face justice in a court of law. Courts of law are where we punish the guilty and provide for the due process rights of all. That is why it is important to respect the rule of law and the decision of our courts. But the issue is, the woman who was killed didn't get that chance for due process. There she is right there on your screen. And the senator, I know what the point he's trying to make, but the point the president was trying to make yesterday in the Oval Office is we have a huge number of illegal immigrants in this country that are affiliated with these gangs. And to go one by one is going to take years and years and years that we don't have in order to protect the rest of the citizens. So how do you think this gets solved in the end?
Well, first of all, Van Hollen's statement is just ridiculous. If you want more safety for the citizens of Maryland, then stop being a sanctuary state. Work with ICE. When you arrest a public safety threat that's in the country illegally, work with ICE. Let us in that jail so we can get them in a safety and security jail rather than release them back in the public, which creates a public threat. And finally, you know, what's happening right now across the country, we have district court judges shutting us down across the country. There's a reason they're district court judges. They're not national judges, but as you mentioned earlier when talking to Bill, you got New York judge district court, you got a district court in Colorado putting a national ban on our activities. They're district court judges. We got to get this to the Supreme Court as quick as possible. District court judges can't overrule the president's executive orders. This is what we got to get fixed right away in the Supreme Court so we can actually keep the president's promise to American people that we're going to remove national security threats and public safety threats.
Yeah, on that point, we're fighting a lawnmower. Our apologies to our viewers at home. This is very important now, okay? Yesterday, the president said this, and I quote, "We cannot give everyone a trial because to do so would take, without exaggeration, 200 years." Now, the court has said that those subject to the statute needed to be given the opportunity to challenge their removal. To me, I interpret that as a sense of due process. How do you interpret that?
I think due process was given, like the Maryland father, the MS-13 terrorist that was removed. He had due process. He was ordered removed by 2 different immigration judges. But here's what they're doing, Bill. Here's the plan. The Biden administration overwhelmed the system. 10.5 million people came to the border. They know it's going to take years to get through the court docket. By then, they're hoping there's another Democratic administration in. They'll have U.S. citizen children. Then all of a sudden, nobody wants them removed. We're spoiling their plans to have future Democratic voters and through a census, have control of the House. Through a census vote, Democratic sanctuary cities get more seats in the House. This is their plan. That's why they overwhelmed the system. That's why they didn't detain them. When they detain them, they get a hearing in 35 days. They released them. Now it's going to take 5 to 7 years. They're going to keep playing this game through the immigration courts, through appeal after appeal after appeal, district judge, to slow us down, because their hopes is they'll gain power again, then they can warrant amnesty to 10 million illegal aliens that are released in this country illegally. That is their plan, and we're trying to remove these public safety threats and national security threats as quick as possible. They're putting every roadblock imaginable in front of us to prevent us from doing that.
My last question, I'm sorry about the lawnmower, but it'll be quick. Would it help you if Congress were to pass a law making it more clear on how to deal with this situation right now? Would that be of use for you all as you try to deal with it?
Absolutely. Congress needs to take action. They can solve the border crisis by simply addressing 3 laws, the TV PRA on children, the asylum laws, and the Florida Settlement Agreement. If they make those 3 changes and those 3 laws, they've solved 90% of the border problems forever.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Tom Homan, thank you, and thanks for dealing with that distraction there, sir.
So this bag of shit, and that's what he is. He had multiple felony convictions, was allowed to stay in the country, was drinking and driving, was high, and murdered 2 innocent Americans. And you have Democratic judges, the Democratic Party, that side with these illegal aliens over American citizens. All these judges, these district court judges, George Soros appointed judges, need to be disbarred, removed, sent to prison. If you're an illegal alien, you don't get due process. You're in another country illegally. You broke the law. You need to be picked up and brought back to your country of origin. No, but what does Democrats do? Because they need a voting base. Oh, here's health insurance. Here's free housing. Here's health care. All the taxpayers' dime. If I went to the hospital right now, oh, it's 20 grand, 30 grand. Wouldn't even give me a Band-Aid for free. Meanwhile, you got a guy in there, him and his wife, both illegals. They had 5 children, all free at the hospital. This story makes me absolutely sick. This is why when I say I hate the Democratic Party, I mean every single word of it. If you tell me you're a Democrat, I don't want anything to do with you whatsoever. You see the second girl, she was murdered. Illegal alien murders her, buries her in the woods. But Democrats, the illegal alien is the real victim. Let's try to understand his mind and his heart. And let's try to help him, F him. And this other garbage senator, whatever he is, Chris Van Hollen, he feels the victim's pain. This spineless piece of shit travels to Venezuela or wherever country it was to visit a gang member and dresses him in a little button-up shirt and puts a Yankee hat on him like the innocent father of 5 with his 5 anchor kids. And we should all feel sympathy because he has multiple felony convictions, is a gang member, but the taxpayer paid for his children. So our hearts should bleed. And we should all be outraged that he was deported. Keep that piece of shit where he is too. And let me tell you, I had an incident about a month ago. Now, this is a Thursday at 8 o'clock. It's not a weekend. I'm not out late. I don't want to hear your garbage. I just left the gym. I'm coming to the light. The light is red. It's about to turn green. There's a cross street over here. The car's obviously supposed to go across, go into the parking lot. What does this lowlife illegal alien do? He makes the wrong turn. He comes down the one way. I don't know how I wasn't killed. He missed me by like a hair. He goes down the highway, finally gets off, pulls into like a Buffalo Wild Wings. I go back around. I follow him. I am, in my mind, I am beyond furious because I almost just lost my life. So I open his car door and I grab him. I throw him on the ground, and then I have a moment of clarity because I'm literally going to, him. I said, you know what? Before I get myself in trouble, let me get the F out of here and let the cops deal with it. So if you think that this isn't coming to a town near you or a community near you, you're just a delusional effing moron. And all you Democrats that feel bad for all these illegal aliens, I really hope that you suffer a tragedy just like all these other hundreds of angel moms, and you get the Lincoln Riley treatment, you and your family, because then maybe you will learn to shut your ignorant mouths. See, when it happens to you, then maybe you'll finally have a change of heart, because you see the pain on these fathers' faces losing their kids to this 5-time felony scumbag that just murdered his 2 kids doing 100 miles an hour down the freeway. And what will Democrats and liberals do? Oh, the poor illegal alien. That's why you all make me effing sick. I say this all the time. You could literally give me $1 million a year for the rest of my life, a new car and a new home, and I still wouldn't vote for a Democratic candidate. I go to the ballot booth, and you know what I do? Every Republican, I don't give a shit who they are. I just pull it for every Republican. F Democrats. So Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett goes on the Jimmy Kimmel show, Mr. Communist garbage can himself. Let's jump into the video.
Is a member of Congress who makes a lot of sense to me.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't know why we fight with Greenland. Why we fight with Greenland? We fighting with Canada. We fighting with Mexico. Yet we in love with Putin. What is happening? Like this.
I love this whole new routine that she's doing. Reinvented her. She's a graduate of Harvard. She never spoke like this in her entire life. Now she's doing this whole ghetto fabulous routine. It's just an act, a stick. So maybe ESPN can give her a job. She'd fit right in. She doesn't understand what President Trump is getting tired of other countries getting over on America. And he's putting, it's very simple, Jasmine. I know you don't know elementary school math. So if another country puts a tariff on America for 10%, President Trump puts the same tariff on them. But that would mean you would have to stop being a racist piece of garbage and do basic math.
This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the up.
Yeah, somebody slap her,
I'm ready to get on with it.
Who's like U.S. Representative from Texas, Jasmine Crockett? I think it's fair to say you're the most entertaining member of Congress right now. Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that something that you do or intentionally because people will?
Like, what's with the voice and the batting of the fake eyelashes? Like, I don't know. There's nothing entertaining. See, Jimmy, you're a low IQ communist. You go to Epstein Island. We all know what you're about. You're just there to promote liberalism because you're bought and paid for. There's nothing. I love that she's the new face of the Democratic Party. Let her keep talking. Let her keep showing her ignorance. All it will do is bring Republican victories over and over and over again.
We'll pay attention more if something is kind of funny or if it's delivered in a natural way.
I think that people are over politicians trying to politic. I think that they want people to truly represent them and the frustration and the annoyance and even some of like the comical stuff. Like, look at Pete, right? Like, because we love DUI hires, right? But, I think that it's fair that like people are like, yo, like this is a...
So that's not true? I got a question for everybody that loves DEI, right? We're all told DEI is a great thing. Diversity is a great thing. But then if you're like, well, they're a DEI hire, how dare you? Well, if it's such a great thing and we're all supposed to just bow to it and think that it's so amazing, why aren't we allowed to call the person a DEI hire then? I mean, it's a legitimate question.
Joke, right? No, it's not. It's like this terrible nightmare. And literally, I really do know that it is a nightmare for so many people, not just here, but across the world. I get emails from all over this world with people that are fearful because of the lack of leadership that they're seeing right now on the federal level here in the United States.
Lack of leadership. We're stripping the country down. I don't know if that we'll ever know how much damage will have been done because some of the things are very much under the radar.
The only damage that's been done to this country is Democrats having an unsecured border, allowing 22 million illegal aliens into the country, haven't been vaccinated. We don't know who they are, known terrorists, putting America in so much debt that the only person that could fix it is President Trump. So the only people that are doing damage is Democrats.
And you
can't be a Democrat unless you stand for chaos, destruction, and vileness.
See that kind of stuff. You get to see the things that are being taken away, these things that are important to Americans that aren't. Like, I mean, we do pay attention to Pete Hegseth and we pay attention to Elon Musk and whatnot, but the little things are the things that are really...
like, you make that face, right? And you're mocking Elon Musk. You couldn't even run a hot dog stand. You couldn't run a water cart in the desert. Like, what have you done besides manipulate your constituents that you're going to give them free stuff. She's never owned a business. She's never done anything. And she was elected by a bunch of people that were promised free stuff.
They're terrifying, aren't they?
No, it really is. But let me tell you something. We really don't know how much damage they're causing. Like, when I tell you that the level of incompetence is almost
Oh my God.
like incomprehensible, it is so bad. And
I mean, I got to keep stopping it. The level of incompetence is something that she's never seen before. You just can't conceive the level of incompetence. Are you talking about your daddy, Joe Biden, who was asleep for 4 years? Is that who you're referring to? Like, for this lady to call President Trump and Elon Musk incompetent is just a total effing joke. They do more in 1 week of work than this lady has done in her entire effing life.
you bring up the idiot known as Elon Musk.
Yeah, okay.
He is not only like
She calls Elon Musk an idiot. This moron, low IQ moron, calls Elon Musk dumb.
very sinister and has no idea of what he's doing. And people are like, oh, no, he absolutely knows because he's the richest man in the world. Like, yes, he knows how to hire smart people, but don't conflate that and believe that he is the genius because he ain't.
But you're the genius, right? That's what you're saying? You're just so superior to President Trump and Elon Musk. I wonder why you're saying that.
So he has inflicted so much harm and done so much that even Trump don't want to talk about it. When the last time you heard about Elon?
Not much. You don't
we
see
haven't
him
heard
that
about
much.
No, we ain't
You
been
think
hearing
Trump
about him.
is distancing himself from Elon
Yeah,
Musk?
because as soon as people started to look at his ratings, right? Like he continues to have these failing ratings. So now they're like, oh, get rid of Elon. But let me tell you, the stench ain't getting off of you, Trump, honey. Like you
Stench ain't getting off of you, honey. Just give me an effing break. Trump's never, after Trump put the tariffs on, his ratings were the highest that they ever been. After President Trump put the tariffs on all these other countries, his ratings went through the roof. But I wouldn't expect her to tell the truth. She wouldn't know what the truth is if it slapped her across her face.
You are a problem. He is a problem. Pete is a problem. All of y'all a problem.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they're all a problem. You know why? Because they're white men. That's what the real problem is.
You have a lot of feuds going on. Marjorie Taylor Greene, that was great. We love that. Nancy Mace, Ted Cruz. I think are you in a feud with Drake, or is that? Did I forget anybody?
If I am, just know I'm gonna be Kendrick.
You're on Kendrick's. You grew up in. My wife is from St. Louis, and so I took note of the fact that you grew up in St.
Yes.
Louis. What did you want to do when you were a kid? This was not it, right?
No, I still don't know if I want to do this. I actually
Do us all a favor and retire. I mean, she's making millions of dollars and she does absolutely nothing. And she can't figure out if she still wants to do this because God forbid she might have to do some work.
wanted to be an anesthesiologist. So I've always been really good at math and science, but I didn't want to talk to people.
You wanted to put people to sleep, and you kind of are doing the opposite thing.
Yes, I want them to be woke now.
You decided to go to law school.
She wants them to be woke now. Of course she does. And of course she doesn't want to hear anybody talk because she's a sociopath that thinks the universe spins around her and her fragile feelings.
Well, instead.
Kinda.
Kinda?
Yeah. So interestingly enough, I did Little Shop of Horrors. So when I was in college at Rhodes in Memphis, I ended up doing Little Shop of Horrors.
What part did you play in that?
I was one of the women that was singing.
Okay.
Yes, I was in the chorus.
Okay.
And so I ended up doing it, and the mock trial coach recruited me to do mock trial. And I was like, no. By this time, I decided I was going to be an accountant. Didn't want to do anesthesia no more. Still didn't want to talk to people. So then he goes, no, you should do mock trial. And I said, that's for the kids going to law school. Long story short, he recruits me. I do mock trial just my senior year. I become a national All-American. He says, you should go to law school. So I applied, got a full ride, and said, fine, if I don't like it, I'll quit.
Wow. And then you became a public defender. you wound up running for Congress.
Yeah.
And now here we are.
And here we are.
You've not met Donald Trump, right?
No.
I feel like he likes you.
No.
I do. Because I think, see, I don't think he would ever admit it, but I think when somebody's aggressive and funny, they hit his radar. And he did speak about you once.
How about this new one they have? Their new star, Crockett. How about her? Is that real? Are they serious about that? That's their new star? If that's their new star, they're in serious trouble. I mean, this is Crockett. Oh, man. But we have, we've done a job, but they've totally lost their confidence. And it's a hard thing when you lose your confidence. But they have. They've taken a lot of beatings, and now they're going to rely on Crockett to bring them back.
Why does he yell your name? Crockett over and over. And then they're going to bring Crockett.
I actually had not watched the clip. That's my very first time. My team was aware.
And what does Crockett think of that?
Yeah, she has a team because she can't do anything. She can't even, go get a cup of water. You ever see how she treats her assistant? She'll hand the assistant a cup, get my water, please. She's a typical Democrat that does absolutely nothing for anybody. It's all about her. How much money can I steal, rob? How many vacations can I take? What can I do so I don't have to do anything? That's what Jasmine Crockett is.
I mean, it says a lot when you literally are supposed to be the leader of the free world and you're worried about a rising sophomore in the house.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Or you wish she was on your side. He also called you low IQ. I'm sure you're aware of that. Would you be willing to take an IQ test publicly, head to head against the President of the United States?
Absolutely.
You had said that last time you were here, Marjorie Taylor Greene was the dumbest person in Congress. Is she still the dumbest, or has that crown been taken from her?
No. She's still winning, honey. She's still winning. I mean, did you not see what
Her, Alexandria Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, the other cockroach from Minnesota, you could add them all up and their total IQ would be negative 30.
she had to say about the Pope?
How did I miss this? Oh, I missed this.
It's cringy.
It is.
It is. Basically, she was like, God is getting rid of the evil in the world.
And the Pope was part of the evil?
I guess so, because the Pope died. This was her response to him dying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's
wow.
Dumb and a lowlife.
Wow, yeah.
The Pope was promoting LGBTQ, marriage, transgenderism. He hid pedophilia that was going on in the church. I hope the Pope is in hell where he belongs. You think that he's not going to be judged a little more harshly by God than the average person? Of course he is. So you're clueless just like you always are. That's like you go into these Catholic churches and the priest is up there with a rainbow thing on promoting gay marriage and all the other garbage, transgenderism. Give me a break. You're making me sick. All these Democrats, I can't stand you.
Yes, I'd like to see St. Peter reading that. It's and it says here that you said the... Yes. Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I did. And there are going to be some firings.
Yeah, okay.
So you have people's attention. What is the Democrats' message? What can be done and what are you doing?
Let me tell you something. I think that one of the things that we've got to do is focus on how we communicate, not necessarily exactly what we say. And so I know that there are those that want us to stick to perfection. But honestly, some of the most watched moments that I've had have been when they were anything but perfect, right? Like what I said, I would say if somebody asked if I had a chance to talk to Elon. So, I think that if we focus on really being very cognizant of our audience and speaking to them in an authentic way, which looks different depending on who you are. I don't think that, honestly, policy is what we need to be fighting about. Because guess what? Can't nobody tell you what Donald Trump's policies were.
Hold on a minute. She just said we don't need to be talking about policy. That's why you lost the last election in a landslide, you effing moron. So she just said we don't need to talk about policy or what we say. We have to worry about authenticity. So what? Authenticity of lies and garbage and watching you do TikTok dances? See, Kamala Harris took the same playbook. And now she's Kamala Harris Jr. And that's why you lost the election by 30 million votes. And you'll continue to lose it. Like, they don't even hide their ignorance or their strategy. Oh, we're not going to talk about policy. We're not going to talk about lowering your taxes or securing the border or making your neighborhood safe. We want to see Jasmine Crockett do her ghetto fabulous routine and do TikTok dances. Oh, yeah, that's going to make me vote for you. Just total garbage.
At all. Like, you ask them, like, what policies? I don't know, but he going to bring down the cost of eggs. But last time I checked, that didn't happen, right? It'd be like, well, we're saying it's Project 2025. No, Donald said he knows nothing about that. And then what happened? All the Project 2025 started to come around. So, like, I don't even think that it's policy. I think that people are voting on vibes. I think that people are voting for, like, who they feel like is being honest with them, even if they don't like what they're saying. So I think that we just need to really tap into, like, being okay with just being real people and showing people that we are real people, and we'll be fine.
Her message is they have to focus on being real people, but that's why she's doing this whole new ghetto fabulous routine. She never talked like this before. She never cursed at people. She never did any of this. So what she's really trying to do is, because she thinks that President Trump is like that, she's trying to emulate President Trump as a black female, and she thinks it's going to work. Meanwhile, at the last election, that's exactly what Kamala Harris did to lose the election. So you know what, Jasmine? Keep up the great work. Keep going down this road. I love it. I mean, I despise you. I can't stand you, but I love that you're the face of the Democratic Party. I love it.